The Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Real Doctor Who fans with real Doctor Who opinions.
Hello and welcome to the Doctor Alhambra Podcast, a podcast dedicated to discussing and reviewing Doctor Who, Big Finish, all things science fiction-y, well, to some extent, as well as other things that tickle our fancy. I am Brett, host of the Doctor Alhambra Podcast. My co-host in crime, the dynamic duo of Liam and Legion, are currently experiencing some extradition issues by the Jadoon for their act in petting a Naimon. However, fear not, because I am here to bring you some Doctor Who goodness and discussion revolving around the new series, Big Finish, and whatnot, and news, I guess you could say. I hope to be taking this show at least for going on almost every day for a week or so, but we'll just see what the schedule brings us. I also look forward to doing some reviewing of Big Finish stuff. It has been a while. It's been months since I've had a moment to actually listen to something, so fear not. I hope you enjoy it. Please reach out if you'd like to. I guess the best way to say it is, the best way to reach us would be to email us at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. That is ALHAMBRA audio, all one word, at gmail.com. Tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. DMs might be the only way that you get through this, because I've noticed that people have been, I guess, commenting on some posts that I've done, and I get no notifications for that whatsoever on Twitter. So just keep that in mind. I'd love to hear from you, get your thoughts, and what have you. So going into the podcast, I want to take a look at some of this podcast can be focused on Big Finish. And one thing that I want to look at is some of the more recent news relating to Big Finish releases that have come up since the previous podcast. So first on the docket, I want to look at the Sixth Doctor, the Trials of a Time Lord. And I believe this is part of the 40th anniversary of Colin Baker's Sixth Doctor. We have companions Perry, played by Nicola Bryant, and Mel as Bonnie Langford. So, I don't know, the other way around. Sorry. For me personally, the cover art is very intriguing because, again, first off, we don't have that crappy watercolor crap that has been tormenting us forever. And additionally, we do have on the cover art Davros in a wheelchair, but mind you, who will be played by Terry Malloy. And then we have David Banks, who will be reprising his role as the cyber leader, as we saw him on the screen on Attack of the Cybermen. So that is going to be fantastic. And it looks like we are going to have, let's see, it says, and the carnivorous Adrigums. Oh, no, not them. That was the worst part about the two Doctors. I found the two Doctors a nice celebration and bringing back, Patrick Troughton's Second Doctor, also kind of giving us the possibility of a season 6B, but no. All right, well, whatever. Anyway, that just kind of got a little bit sad. This is going to be a 6-part story told over 3 discs, with the first 2 episodes scripted by Rokana Patel, the third and fourth by Catherine Armitage, and the final 2 stories by Stuart Pringle. Now, again, I, being very consistent, I'm looking at Rokana Patel, and because the name isn't familiar. She's written stuff for Torchwood One Nightmares, which again, one of those things that I purchased and have never had a moment to check out. She did a release in the Bernice Summerfield Blood and Steel, which I know Liam and Legion and Humphrey all thoroughly enjoyed. She did a story in the 11th Doctor Chronicles Volume 3, Geronimo, and then the War Master Escape from Reality, which I will never find out how great that is because, no. And I guess she's doing something for the upcoming Jenny the Doctor's Daughter series 3. So, I'm just trying to be consistent with that because, again, I'm always skeptical of new writers. Give you a hint. very skeptical of the most recent Doctor Who episode, the Dot and Bubble, written by not RTD or Stephen Moffat. And that discussion will come out at a later time. But so just a tease for a future episode. Catherine Armitage, the name is familiar. As I've looked through this, she did the Displaced in the Main Range Doctor Who story when the Main Range was a thing. A story in Survivor's New Dawn. Unit 3 Nemesis Objective Earth, which Liam thoroughly enjoyed. Well, he kind of didn't until he saw the Dominators. So then that was a thing, or the Quark, sorry. I don't know. I'm not overly aware of what she's done. The name is familiar, but nothing sticks out. And I think to me that is one of the problems I have with some of these new Big Finish writers is their writing just doesn't stick out. The work that they've done does not, make me desire it immediately or something to look forward to. And then, of course, we have Stuart Pringle, who I believe in previous podcasts I have criticized and for less than stellar work. So again, this Trials of a Time Lord, kind of not looking forward to it. I have yet to listen to the Quint Dilemma. I did pick that up, and I will be looking forward to getting that listened to also. June 3rd, 2024, we have the announcement of a unique archaeological team-up seeks Dark Gallifrey. And so Louise Bowerman, David Warner, James Marsden, and Sir Derek Jacobi star in the Gallifrey, the War Master trilogy, a full cast audio drama beginning in July 2024. And so I was kind of interested regarding this because Dark Gallifrey, again, even though we're going to box sets, this is a box set that is going to be released in 3 different parts. Part 1 due in July. Part 1 says, intrigued by rumors of a hidden Gallifrey, the Dark Gallifrey of Time Lord myth, Bernice Summerfield resolves to find it. But as the Doctor points out, some things should never be found and some doors should never be open, especially ones that want to be. So very intriguing right there. Part 2 says, due to be released in August amid the dreaming spires of Braxitel University. That's coming back again. Benny is dividing her time between her lectures, her cats, and managing the romance advances of one of her students, John. The new provost, such a nice old man, doesn't approve. Okay, so then that's probably going to be the master. Okay, gotcha. And then part 3, due to release in September, it says the master and Captain John are trapped amidst the ruins of Dark Gallifrey, where familiar faces and infinite possibilities gather. With his dream of the ultimate weapon almost in his grasp, the master reveals in this chaos, but all roads lead to the abomination. All right, so produced by Scott Hancock, which is kind of interesting because I thought he was done with that. And they said that, at least in this quote, it says, David Richardson asked me to do Dark Gallifrey box set with the War Master, and there were certain other characters he wanted in the mix. So I turned to James with a Terrence Dicks style 5 Doctors shopping list and asked, can you work up a story featuring the War Master, Captain John Hart, Bernice Summerfield, and David Warner's Doctor, and even a little cameo from a young War Doctor. Very quickly, he came up with a storyline that accommodated everyone and made sense to celebrate the combinations of those characters. So James Goss is, I guess, writing all these 3 stories. The only thing that I have any apprehension about regarding any of this is the essentially shopping list. Like you need to have this, this, and this. I think a synopsis should be, an idea. The story editor should go to the writer and say, or producer, I guess you could say, should go to, we would like something around this vein. You have full right to use whatever you'd like. I don't like the required shopping list of you do this, do this, do this. I think a good, and if not, if that's the expectation, I think Scott Hancock, and going from being the producer of this, should go into the writer, because this is what he wants. And I find, and the reason why I'm kind of critical about that is the whole once and future, which I think was kind of personally a massive flop. So I'm not 100% sure I'm fully in on that, but only time will tell. Also, possibly the last thing I do for this podcast is we have the notification that the save with the Classic Doctors multi-buy pre-orders, which Liam has already pre-ordered. He probably pre-ordered it seconds after they said, "Did you know that you could buy?" And he probably bought it that moment. So it says 2025 will bring dozens of brand new audio adventures for the first 2 Eighth Doctors, and you can save money by pre-ordering them in multi-bundles now. So it's we have the actors set for the series: Tom Baker's Fourth Doctor, Peter Davidson's Fifth Doctor, Colin Baker's Sixth Doctor, Sylvester McCoy's Seventh, and Paul McGann's Eighth Doctor, with the recent additions of Stephen Noonan as the First Doctor, Michael Troughton as the Second, and Tim Treloar as the Third Doctor. And so there are a couple of bundles. It looks like it says start today, eagerly listening to blah, blah, blah. All right, anyway. So it says the 15 release bundle, which includes the Classic Doctor Adventures, is available to purchase in the following formats. So you could have the collector's edition CDs, which are limited to 1,000. Now, I would love to pick up the CDs. I am a massive, sorry, I am a massive, and I've slowly, because of scrubbing certain things, altering certain things, have become a massive, physical media collector once again. Kind of don't like that I have to go download, but again, because of the international shipping fee, I just don't think it's plausible for me. It's £335 for the collected editions plus the downloads, and for me it is $426.59, and that comes without. I'm just going to see what that would look like if it was. The postage itself would come to $117. So yeah, for me to buy this as a bundle would cost me almost $600. Yeah, hard pass for that. So yeah, I find that a shame. I like physical media. It's always there just in case. Then of course you have the first 200 shoppers to pick up the bundle before the 3rd of June 2024 will also receive a $10 early bird pre-order credit. I'm curious if Liam got that, or it's still the snafu that occurred last time, because I know that he probably picked it up the moment he heard about it. But will he have been the first 200? Who knows? So we have this little discussion. It says creative director Nick Briggs said, "All of our writers, directors, script editors, and producers continue to work tirelessly to creating exciting new adventures for all of our doctors. The First Doctor continues his strange encounters with past companions." That's interesting right there. With an absolute corker by Jacqueline Rainier, already recorded in post-production. Now, here is what I will say regarding that right there. That is how you get people to want to jump onto your series or pick up your products. I feel as though RTD Part 2 is, and also Ncuti Gatwa, for right for wrong, is, if you don't like this, go touch grass, go do this or whatever. I've always been this podcast, I've always been under the belief that I want everybody to listen to this podcast. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care where, political aisle you lean on. I don't care if you are a circle earther or a flat earther. I would like you to all listen to the podcast. I think that is, having a larger audience that is passionate about this show is better than secluding some audience because they agree with you. And I like that he is already kind of, positive about this. And I think Doctor Who currently, in my opinion, needs a lot of positivity. And I like that he's already just kind of like throwing this out, like, this is what we've been currently doing with the First Doctor. And also, FYI, this story by Jacqueline Rainier is probably a really great one that you should probably listen to. Nick Briggs continues. It says, Second Doctor's exciting era of the post-war games adventures. Now, again, here is the problem with the post-war game thing. Everything regarding the post-war game has now taken had a massive dump tanked on to it because of the Timeless Child, I think, fiasco. So again, agree, disagree, whatnot, but I feel as though what is currently happening in modern Doctor Who is actually harming Big Finish and classic Doctor Who. That is my opinion, though. You can agree, you can disagree. If you'd like to reach out at alhambraaudio@gmail.com or at Alhambra Podcast, DMs are again open. So again, I'm going to just repeat that. It says the Second Doctor's exciting era of post-war games adventures will take him on a surprising new places, and then the Third Doctor will come right back to Earth just after his very first adventure in a story I've co-written. So Nick Briggs has co-written this. Haven't gotten around to Charlotte Pollard Series 3, but co-written this with first-time Big Finish writer. Now, here is what I really like, because again, whenever I criticize a brand new writer, it always seems like they're standing alone and they maybe only have the help of a script editor. And at least for me personally, the writing has not been that good. So Nick Briggs has co-written this with first-time Big Finish writer, thriller author Richard James. And I've really had a great time co-writing with him. He's brought a lot of really great vintage flavor to a lovely story. Again, hyping this with the publicity that is needed, I think, in such I don't want to say toxic fandom, because again, that would discount people's likes and dislikes. I think that, again, I think fans have every right to criticize a show. I feel as though it is the showrunner and their job to actually kind of weigh the criticism and figure out, are we doing things that we like, or are we doing things that everybody else likes? If you are writing the show only for your enjoyment, well, I think that, the criticism should and is well deserved. So I like that he's already kind of, shouted out one, given us some positive look for another. We have a brand new writer to Big Finish, not a new writer, but the thriller author, Richard James, and he's co-written this, which again, for a Third Doctor to have a thriller story possibly set in UNIT, I think that sounds fantastic. I think I'm already on board. We'll pre-order by the time this podcast gets uploaded. Then he continues. He does not continue. It says senior producer John Ainsworth added, longtime listeners will know that we recorded Tom Baker's Fourth Doctor adventures well in advance, but there might be some surprises along the way. Also in 2025, Peter Davison stars in a 12-part Fifth Doctor story for the first time ever. Ooh, the Daleks Master Plan Part 2. Just kidding. That would be so great. The 12-part Fifth Doctor story for the first time ever. It's an epic featuring new worlds, new creatures, and searing lights that could burn out everything to the dust. Again, this is great. The 6th, 7th, and 8th Doctor will feature in 2 box sets each, as in previous years. I shan't give too much away, but expect companions old and new, some classic series monsters that haven't featured in audios in a decade, and a name that's been hiding in plain sight, and it's time to go there. Interesting. I like the tease. I really like the tease. So, and it just discusses what you can do. So the 1st and 2nd Doctor box sets, you can purchase those together. You can purchase the 3rd Doctor 2 box sets, due to be released in February and October of 2025. All 3 4th Doctor releases. And again, one thing that I really appreciate about this tease is it has been revealed and been discussed in previous podcasts that the Fourth Doctor has constantly been doing things to, have stuff in the bank up to like 2030 or something like that, or maybe even beyond that. But I like that there was a tease that everybody should know this, but also there's some also new stuff that we're currently doing too. So again, I like that they're doing things for the fans. I think that is the most important thing, that it can be understood. It says both Fifth Doctor box sets to be released in April and May. So that's fantastic. I'm definitely picking up those two, because it's going to be a 12-part story that is going to be taken place over a period of 2 months. So, you've got me on board for that one. Sixth Doctor box sets, again, because I cannot trust that we will not be what's-her-face free. I have to wait to see, because no, Thomas Brewster, you aren't the worst companion ever. And then both Seventh Doctor box sets are due to be released in June and November, as well as both Eighth Doctor box sets are, again, as tradition for the past couple of years, has been released in November and December. So I will not be picking up all of these box sets. I will tell you, oh man, I'll have to do some mathing and figure out if maybe the best way to do it would be to pick them all up, or because again, I've not been the biggest fan of many of the Seventh Doctor box sets. I feel as though he is, could you say he's overrated? I don't know. Maybe he's just an okay Doctor, but just the stories and stuff like that, not my favorite. Fifth Doctor, I'm all in. Fourth Doctor, I'm always all in. Third Doctor, always all in. So I think I'm going to have to do some juggling with that and kind of figure out what I want, what I don't want. And I do need to listen to this year's First Doctor story to figure out if I want to pursue, since we do have the return of, oh man, this is where I'm sad that the Jadoon has Liam and Legion locked away, because for some reason, my brain has just gone bye-bye. Anyway, that's what we have to look forward to. I am very excited for 2025. I know there will be obviously more stuff than this. It looks, if memory serves me right, we're not going to be getting any more Doctor Chronicles, at least with Jacob Dudman as the voice actor, as he's looking to do some other stuff. Who knows? We'll obviously get some Gallifrey, possibly Dark Gallifrey, I believe, is slotted for next year also as well too. Possibly some Blake 7 and whatnot. But then again, we'll probably have some more War Master, sadly. And then we will probably have some River Song, the death and life of River Song. Torchwood will be a thing. So again, I think there's a lot to look forward to, a lot to be excited about as fans of Doctor Who and of Big Finish. Again, what are your thoughts about these upcoming releases for 2025? I'd love to hear from you. Your thoughts, your anything that you're hesitant about, or things that I should possibly be a little bit more open to. Again, email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. You can tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. And until next time, we will see you in time.
You have been listening to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Doctor Who is owned and trademarked by the BBC. Doctor Who Alhambra is not affiliated with the BBC or Big Finish. No infringement is intended. Visit our website at alhambrapodcast.weebly.com or email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet us at Alhambra Podcast. That is ALHAMBRA Podcast. Thank you.